I've survived over 1300 days in this hardcore Minecraft world, and for some reason I thought it'd be a fun challenge to never move out of my starter house. This is starting to bite me in the butt though, as I'm constantly struggling to find space for all of my items. I solved this problem a little bit by creating a lumber mill where I've been storing all of my wood materials, but even that's not quite cutting it. So my plan for this video is to create a secret underground storage room directly underneath our starter house that can store over 1 million items. First things first, I want to get started on the entrance, and I was thinking we could hide it right under this block inside of our bedroom. So let's just dig out a little bit of an area right here and we can try to do some redstone. This right here should be plenty of room to work with, but maybe let's just throw down a few torches in each of these corners. Really don't want anything spawning down here. And I guess I should have just brought the redstone down here to begin with, but that's alright. Let's get back up inside of our house. And conveniently, my redstone chest is right here, so let's grab some redstone dust, some of these repeaters, and I'll also need to make some sticky pistons, so let's grab some slime balls. Okay, perfect, and I grabbed the rest of the materials that we need, so we should be able to craft up some, we can do a few pistons here. We'll turn those into sticky pistons, and while we're at it, let's also make a few redstone torches. And I think that should be everything that we need, so let's get ourselves back into this room. And with all the materials we needed and the room dug out, I locked in and got the redstone built up. Okay, of course I'm like stuck down here now, but I think it should be working. Let's maybe see if we can just get ourselves back up, maybe right through this block. Just quickly patch that back up. As you can see, there's a sticky piston right there, so let's just hide that with a jungle plank. And then all we should have to do is place a button right there, and if we press that, it should hopefully open it. Okay, and it does. Awesome. The button itself is pretty hidden, blends in right with the floor, and then we can just press that, hop down, and eventually we'll fall right down into the storage room. And I guess the main issue right now is that we have no way to get back up, so let's work on that next. And I do have quite a bit of other stuff built around this area, like other farms and whatnot, so I think I want this to be quite a bit deeper just so we're not bumping into anything. Probably right here is a good level, so let's just light that up with a torch, and then I want to dig a bit of a hallway going in this direction. The hallway is dug out, and then I was thinking we could do a bubble elevator right here, and this should launch us right back into the house. Okay, so I think we just hit the floor of the house, so let's just pillar up right here, and okay, I think this will be a good spot for us to kind of launch back up. And I do want to disguise this as well, but I think we can do so pretty easily, as we should be able to hide some redstone right under this carpet. So the bubble elevator will be right there, and then let's just kind of patch this back up. We'll do a piston right there, then we'll go plank and stripped oak wood, and then we can just hide this back up using some red carpet. That's looking good. Let's also just patch this up using some oak slabs. And then similar to what we did before, we're gonna have to dig out a bit of a room below this and do some redstone. This is an absolute mess right now, but you can see the piston is right there. So let's do a block right below it. And then we need to do some redstone dust leading into that. And then basically all we need to do is just carry this redstone line going all the way down to the bottom where we dug out that hallway. And I am trying to be a good redstoner and place this on top of stone bricks just so that I hopefully don't break it. Also, the redstone line is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna break this one here and place a repeater, and just so there's a little bit of delay, I'll probably click that like a few times. I'll show you why we need the delay in just a second, but let's continue getting this connected up, going all the way to the bottom. Okay, we're making good progress. I think we're almost there. I did, however, just remember that I want to invert the signal, so let's do a full block there and a redstone torch, and I think that should do the trick. Just gotta go a few more blocks around this corner, and as you can see, this is that hallway that we dug out earlier. So right above where our redstone line ends, let's do a full block, and then on top of that, let's do a pressure plate. And I mean, we might as well just patch up the rest of this hallway while we're at it. Okay, but I think if we step on this pressure plate now, it should open up that hole kind of in the floor inside of our house. It's a little bit hard to tell right now, so let's dig this out and we can check. And you know what? While we're digging this out, let's also just replace the walls with some terracotta. I think it'll look a little bit nicer. And it's also so claustrophobic in this hallway. Let's make this a little bit taller. Okay, but moment of truth, if I step on this pressure plate, it should open up that hole, and it does. Let's go. Awesome. You know what? Let's double check it. Step on it, and it should open up. Closes. Okay, perfect. Step on it. Opens. closes, let's go. As I mentioned, I want this thing to be a water elevator so we can easily get back up to the top. So let's just start off by patching this up a little bit more. And then to hold all of the water in place, let's just do a bunch of pale oak signs. And then I think the easiest way to do this is to place some sand at the very bottom first. And then I guess we need to place water all the way at the top. So let's just pillar our way up there. Okay, we're directly underneath the floor. So let's do some water right here and then break this going all the way back down to the bottom again. The water's going all the way down to the bottom now, and we need this to be water sources in order for the bubble column to work. So let's just do some kelp to convert it all. And I'm out of kelp, dang it. Kind of annoying, but we should be able to just grow the rest of it using some bone meal, which I have in my ender chest. Okay, let's see if this works. Just press that a bunch. Okay, I think it grew up all the way to the top. So let's just break that kelp right there. And then we need to get rid of this sand and replace that with some soul sand. And those bubbles are a very good sign. We're about to test my redstone capabilities. Please let this work. So the pressure plate should open the entrance and oh my goodness, it worked, it worked. And as you can see, the hole is completely disguised. You can't even see it. Oh, this is so sick. And then if we want to go back down, all we got to do is press that button, fall down into this hole, and sweet, we're right back into that hallway. And then if we want to go back up, just walk into the bubble column and sweet, floor closes right below us. Oh man, this is cool. The one thing we should do though is add some water at the bottom of the entrance because I keep breaking my legs. So maybe let's just break out this one. We'll replace that with a slab and do some water. And then you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the rest of this floor with no! I just broke all my redstone. Okay, the water source is in and I patched up the rest of the floor, so I think our entrance as well as the exit is fully done now. I mean, I can't help myself though. Let's just try this one more time. Oh, that is buttery smooth. Go over here, press the button, drop right back down, boom, right into the water, good to go. This redstone was somehow both easier and harder than I thought it was going to be, but anyway, I want to get started on digging out a giant hole over in this area for the actual storage room. So first things first, let's try to get a beacon set up, and I just need to dig out a little bit of space for that. Hopefully this is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, of course, one short. Okay, let's get this all filled in. Layer number 2. Final layer right here, and then let's place our beacon right on top. And I low-key just remembered that this thing needs to be able to see the sky, so you know what? Let's dig a hole straight up. Really hoping there's not going to be any buildings above us. I was not really thinking about this, and okay, there's the sky. Perfect. It is dark as heck though. Let's quickly go inside of our house and take a sleep. Yeah, definitely don't want any mobs to kill us. Now that I don't have to worry about a creeper sneaking up on me, let's dig this going all the way back down to the beacon. Okay, perfect. And then let's just throw our iron in here. We'll go haste and haste 2. And now that we can finally insta-mine, let's dig out a giant area for our storage room. It took about an hour, but this should be the entire space cleared out. My idea is that we'll have chests in all of these different compartments, and then we'll have a staircase right down to here to the very bottom where we'll have even more storage. But you know what? There's no time to waste, so let's head back upstairs and grab some materials. I know I want to use some terracotta, and let's see, I have a bit over a stack, hopefully that'll be enough. And down on this level, I also have my nether chest, so let's just grab some of this glowstone. And then I'm also going to need a few things from the very top level, so let's just start off with some of this andesite. Maybe I'll just grab like 3 stacks, and I'll also take these slabs. Moving right along, I know I want to use some lanterns, so let me grab those, and I'll also take these paintings. And then we already did use some in the floors, so we should probably grab a little bit more deep slate. And then if there's any weird walls that we need to patch up, I'll probably use some stone. And check this out, look at all these shulker boxes of stone I have. This is kind of crazy, but let's just grab one of them. That'll be way more than enough. And I'm gonna need a ton of wood materials, so let's quickly swing by the lumber mill. Not before saying hi to our happy ghasts though. What's up, little happy ghasts? Honestly, I cannot remember at all how much wood I have in here. Please just have some. Oh, okay. How much is this? 20 logs? That is not going to be enough. And the other thing I need is a bunch of spruce. Come on, I have to have what? Dude, I thought I was gonna have like half a double chest or something. Are you kidding me? I only have like 2 stacks. All right. Well, this kind of sucks. I actually have to play the game now and go grab materials. It's not all just in storage waiting for me. Kind of lame. Let's start off with grabbing some wood from this taiga biome. And truthfully, I'm gonna need a ton of this stuff. And I also just remembered I need like over 600 chests. So I'm gonna need a ton of wood. Wait a minute, 600 chests? How much wood is that? How many logs is 600 chests in Minecraft? 1,200 logs? Oh my goodness. I can't do math, so how many stacks is that? Dude, 19 stacks of logs, that is cooked. Keep in mind, I also need a ton of spruce to build the actual base, so just to be safe, I think I want to try collecting an entire shulker box full of spruce logs. I think that's the play. I think I'm just gonna throw some Avatar The Last Airbender on my second monitor and shut my brain off for a while. Let's see how long this takes. Maybe I was just complaining for no reason. That didn't take too long, only about an episode, and there we go, a full shulker box full of spruce logs. We still do need a few oak logs though, luckily not nearly as many as the spruce ones, so let me chop a few of these trees down. Should probably have enough after this tree here. Let's see, how much is that? Okay, pretty much 2 stacks. I think we're good to go. Hang on. I just remembered that we also need some dark oak wood. Please tell me I have some in here. Please. Let's go. Okay, we have definitely enough. Finally, we can get started. Let's press this button, hop on down, and I was thinking we could just start right here with the entrance. First things first, let's fill in this floor using polished and deep slate bricks. Something just like that, and then let's fill in this wall a little bit more, just using the same terracotta. And then in the corners, I was thinking we can do some pillars made out of both oak and stripped spruce, so let's just place those down, strip them, and then we'll do the exact same thing in this corner. Maybe just do like 3 spruce, strip those, maybe do another one right there, strip that, and oak and oak. And then for this other wall, I'm thinking we just use terracotta again, maybe something just like this. Let's do like a square. And then in this part right here, let's just fill that in with some glowstone. The glowstone obviously looks a little bit weird, but I'm thinking we can probably do a painting. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that they added this dog one. That one's cute. Let's keep this one. I also repeated the exact same wall design over here, just a different painting. To cover up this weird gap at the top, I'm thinking we just do some upside down spruce stairs. So let's just extend this going all the way around, just like that. This wall here is still looking a little bit basic, so maybe let's just do a flower pot in each of these corners, and then we can create some indoor plants using azaleas as well as these azalea leaves. Yeah, I think that looks really nice, adds a bit of green. I think that's pretty much our entrance all fixed up. It's looking pretty good, but what's not looking so good is this massive area over here. Maybe let's just start by getting this upper floor in place, and I think we should just surround the entire thing with more of these polished deep slate as well as the deep slate bricks, you know, just going all the way around. We got it going all the way around now, just a few more stairs to place in, and there we go, got a deep slate band surrounding the entire thing. And then on the inside of the deep slate, I was thinking we could do a row of dark oak planks, so let's place this in. Dark oak is going all the way around now, but I think I want to widen this a little bit at the front. Let's also widen it a little bit at the back, should make it a tiny bit easier to walk around here. And then on the inside of all of these dark oak planks, I was thinking we could do some upside down stairs. Something just like that. And then we of course need a way to get down to the bottom level, so I'm thinking we just do a super simple dark oak staircase. So let's get this extended all the way to the bottom, and let's also fill in the sides, otherwise it'll look pretty weird. So let's just swing over to this other side as well, get this filled in. And then I've been liking the terracotta, so let's maybe include that here, and we'll do the exact same thing on this side as well. And then for the floor down here, I want to do some alternating andesite and stone stairs going all the way around. Last few blocks right here, perfect. And then for this area right in the center, let's just mix our andesite and our stone together. I think it's nice just having a tiny bit of texture variation. I gotta be honest though, this is a lot of gray, so let's see if we can shake it up a little bit, add a tiny bit of color using a carpet, and I'm thinking a checkered design using red and gray carpet will look really nice. Wow, that helps a lot. I'm thinking we could probably add some up here as well. Maybe just some solid red ones though, you know, just to shake it up a little bit. Sheesh, that's looking straight fire. Let's add another one over here, you know, why not? I figured the more color the better. Heading back down to the bottom, let's get started on adding some pillars to help divide up this area into some different sections. I feel like building on 5s is always a good idea, so let's skip 5 blocks there, and then we'll do another pillar. And then same thing over here, we'll do a pillar right beside this terracotta. And of course, you've got to strip all of these logs just to, you know, stick with the theme. Perfect, all all of the logs are stripped, but maybe let's just go back, break a few of these, and we can replace those with some oak logs just for a bit of texture variation. The logs are all looking good now, so let's get started on filling in the rest of the walls just using some spruce planks. Eventually, we'll be filling in all of these areas with chests, so no reason to go too crazy with like texturing or some crazy wall designs, just regular old spruce will work. Should be the last wall right here. And then where we have this pillar, let's also just do another wall to kind of divide up these different sections and make almost like two different compartments. So we can do the exact same thing on this side, just some planks going all the way up. Okay, I think all the walls are in place now, so let's get started on the ceiling, and let's just use some dark oak slabs. That way when we add the chests, we'll still be able to open them. Should be the last few slabs right here, and then at the bottom, let's fill this in with some glowstone. This will keep the area nicely lit up, and also look pretty cool, you know, having the chest right on top of this. Looks like I'm about to run out though, dang it. We almost got it all filled in, at least this bottom level, but I'm also going to want to use a bunch of glowstone for all of these compartments up here, so let's go get more. I was going to say at least we can get some sunlight and not be underground for a while, but I guess the nether isn't really much of an improvement. Looks like there's a decent sized chunk of glowstone right here, so let's mine this thing up. Okay, looks like we got 25 out of that, which isn't too bad, but we're probably going to need a few stacks, so let's hunt down a bit more of this stuff. Got some more right here, sweet. I just got done mining a few of the glowstone kind of blobs, whatever you want to call them, and let's see, we have, okay, just about 4 stacks. I think we should be good to go. Oh, I'm getting attacked. I'm actually kind of low. What the heck? There's our portal. Let's get out of here. But now that some glowstone has been obtained, let's go back down here and get this placed in. So just had a few more to place at this bottom level, I think, just like that. And yeah, should be good to go down here. While we're at it though, let's also get all of these sections on the upper level filled in as well. Awesome, these ones are all in place. However, on this level, I also did want to add some in the ceiling. A little bit tricky to reach, probably gonna have to like jump for each of these, but that's all right. Let's get these all placed in. And this should be the last block right there. And while we have this glowstone on us, let's also just place down our crafting table and make a few of these redstone lamps. I don't want to add a crazy amount, but I think just having a few in the ceiling will really help light up this kind of like large open area that we have. So maybe let's just do one directly above us. We'll just dig that out, do a block of redstone, and then a redstone lamp. I got 3 in place on that side, so I'm thinking we just mirror the same thing kind of on this line of the ceiling as well. So let's just kind of mark it out with some scaffolding. We'll have one right there, we'll have one here, and a third one right here. So now all we gotta do is just get ourselves on top of the scaffolding, dig that out, do a block of redstone, and a redstone lamp. Okay, last one, let's dig that out, do our block of redstone and our lamp, and there we go, should be good. As you can see, we kind of have 2 different levels in the ceiling, so I was thinking we could smooth out the transition in between them using some andesite stairs as well as stone stairs going all the way around. So something just like this, I think that's looking pretty good. And then for the rest of this area right in the center, let's simply just fill it in using a bunch of slabs. The slabs are all in place, and what I really like about this is that it makes the redstone lamps not stick out as far, which I think just looks a little bit better. Okay, similar to what we did down below, I want to get started on adding a bunch of pillars. I feel like this will just help everything feel so much more organized once we eventually add the chests. So something just like this, and as you can see, there's going to be quite a few more sections compared to what we have down below. But anyway, let's get to work stripping all of these. You know, that's kind of the style that we've been going for. Want everything to be consistent. Awesome, all of those are stripped, and if we are going for consistency, we should swap out just a few of these with the oak logs, you know, just so everything looks the same. The pillars are looking pretty good, but there is just one more building trick that I want to try out here, and that's just doing a few barrels at the bottom of the pillars, as I think it looks like some sort of band, just makes it look a little bit more supported. Yeah, I'm liking that, so let's do it for all of these pillars as well. Next up, let's get the tops of all of these pillars connected up, just using some spruce stairs. I think that'll look pretty good. I also just want to add some upside down stairs in between these smaller sort of like 3 wide sections as well. For this very back section though, let's maybe switch it up just a little bit and do a horizontal beam of oak logs going all the way across. And then in each of these corners, let's do upside down stair and upside down stair. And then let's cover the insides of these pillars with some trapdoors. We'll do the exact same thing over here as well. And then at the top, let's also do trapdoor, and then we'll add a lantern right there. And then for this very back wall, let's just fill it in with some terracotta. We've been using quite a bit of this stuff throughout the storage room, so I think it should look good. I also want to use some in these smaller sections, but I am now completely out of terracotta. No worries, I could definitely use some fresh air. I mean, of course it's raining, but anyways, let's go grab some more. I've been grabbing all of my terracotta from this hole right here, so let's make this thing a little bit bigger and grab some more. A few minutes later, and we have, what is this, like 5.5 stacks? Okay, that is completely overkill. Let's get out of here. Alrighty, back down to the dungeon we go. Okay, now that we have some more terracotta, let's get the rest of these walls all filled in. Okay, yeah, the back wall is looking a lot cleaner like that. Let's also just fill in these walls kind of on either side of the entrance. So it should be the last few blocks right there, and yeah, that's looking good. And then pretty much exactly the same as we did down below, I want to get the rest of these walls filled in just using some spruce planks. Last few blocks right there, and let's check this out. Holy cow, it's looking so much cleaner now that we can't see all that stone and stuff. Oh, this is looking good. Moving right along, let's place down our crafting table and craft an absolute gigaton of spruce trapdoors. Truthfully, I am not even sure if that is going to be enough, but anyways, I want to cover up all of this glowstone right here just using the spruce trapdoors. What's nice about this is that the light from the glowstone can shine right through it, but also once we add the chests, we'll still be able to open them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get all of these gaps covered up. All of those trapdoors are in place, and it's not really like the most noticeable thing ever, but I think it does look a little bit cleaner. Moving right along, I was thinking we could smooth out the transition between all of this spruce and the ceiling just using a trapdoor band going all the way around, so let's get this in place. And for any harsh corners like right here for example, we can probably do like 3 extra trapdoors, and it just rounds it out a little bit. Should be the last few trapdoors just right here, and let's see how that looks. Ooh, yeah, I like that. And while we have these trapdoors on us, I want to create a few shelves where we can display both some decorations as well as functional blocks, so let's get these placed in. And if you can't tell by now, I like mirroring things, so let's also do the exact same design by the entrance as well. But you know what? Before we get to adding the actual decorations, let's take a second to check in on my cats. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I like to use my 2 cats, Munchie and Mittens, to guilt trip all of you into liking the video. And I'll also let you know that if you want to download and explore my entire hardcore Minecraft world for yourself, you can get the world download on my Patreon or by joining right here as a member on my YouTube channel. Seriously though, thank you so much for all the support lately. Let's get back to Minecraft. Let's begin by adding a few functional blocks like a furnace, crafting table, and smithing table. Above that, let's do a lantern, an amethyst cluster, as well as a flower pot with a dark oak sapling in it. And on the very top shelf, let's do an oak sapling, another lantern, and maybe just a grindstone. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good though. We have both functional blocks as well as stuff that's just, you know, nice to look at. But let's repeat a similar design on this side. We'll switch it up a little bit though by doing an ender chest, a blast furnace, and a smoker. And a stone cutter is also a very useful one to have around, so let's place that down, and then we'll do a blue orchid right here and another lantern. On the very top shelf, let's do another lantern, a flower pot with a dark oak sapling in it, and a brewing stand. And we can even get crazy with this brewing stand. Let's fill it in with a few water bottles because they actually show up on the outside. Very small detail, but I like it. Okay, those shelves are both looking pretty good, and I did leave a couple of holes right here, so let's put some podzol in those, and on top, a couple of rose bushes. Always nice having a little bit of color, and right here I want to make a small kind of like pedestal of sorts using a lodestone and some upside down polished andesite stairs. And then on top of this thing, let's do armor stand, and armor stand. And this might eventually be a good spot to display some different armor trims once we find more, but for now let's just do some basic armor. So we got diamond right in the middle. Beside that on the right, let's do some iron armor, and then to finish it off on the left side, let's do some gold armor. Okay, but with that, this back wall of our storage room is looking super detailed. Really happy with how this thing came out. Yeah, I'm so happy with how that turned out. I think I'm gonna add some similar decorations to this wall as well. So let's do lantern, flower pot with a blue orchid in it, and stone cutter. And on the very top of this one, we can do dark oak sapling, brewing stand, and a lantern. Can't forget our water bottles though. We should switch it up a little bit though, so on this side, maybe let's also include an anvil, and let's also include some sea pickles on this side, you know, why not? But let's just finish off this final shelf with a grindstone, another lantern, as well as an amethyst bud. It's low-key kind of crazy how just a few decorations have really brought this place to life. And let's keep that going by creating a railing going all the way around this area right here. It's going to be pretty annoying if we're accidentally falling down this thing all the time, so I think this will be pretty nice. And I'm just going for a super simple design of alternating fences and fence gates. I will leave this side open just so we can easily go up and down the staircase, but anyway, just to light up the center of this room, let's add a few lanterns on top of the railing. Maybe just a few more over here. Bing, bang, and boom. Fairly simple railing design, but I'm liking this. I feel like we are still missing a little bit of color down here, so let's add a few more of our indoor plant designs just for a pop of green, and you know, it'll just make it feel a little bit more alive down here. Okay, yeah, wow, just having a bit more vegetation down here really went a long way. You might have noticed I left gaps in front of all of the glowstone, and that's because I want to use physical blocks to mark all of the different items that we're going to be storing. So for example, all the chests behind this block will be for mud, all the ones behind this one will be for podzol, grass, moss, and pale moss. I think this is going to be a whole lot better than using item frames, as item frames are technically entities, and entities cause lag, so this should help out a lot with that. Plus, you can't tell me it's not satisfying seeing all of the different kind of like variants and stuff of blocks in a row like this. Oh man, it looks good. But anyway, let's get all of these blocks in place, and then we can finally add all of the chests. So on the opposite side here, let's do some smooth basalt, calcite, the mushroom stem, as well as the brown and red mushroom blocks. I was thinking we could group some of the blocks that we get from underground together, like deep slate, tuff, granite, diorite, and andesite. I was also thinking a nether section could be pretty handy, so let's do blackstone, basalt, nether bricks, netherrack, and quartz. And I feel like I'm constantly running out of space for copper just because of how many variants there are, so let's do one for each of the different stages, plus raw copper. And believe it or not, that actually covers the entire top level. Downstairs, I was thinking we could do some of the more niche blocks, for example, snow, endstone, and purpur. And I've been enjoying using coral lately, so maybe let's just break this block, place some water down, and then we'll do the coral on top just so it doesn't dry out. And I think it'd also be nice to have a space for dripstone. Moving right along, I want to do a spot for glass, so let's just remove that, replace it with concrete, and then do some tinted glass on top. I think that'll be the best way to represent it. And then beside that, let's do a bone block, some honeycomb, hay, and a melon. And then the remainder of this is going to be super satisfying, as I want to have a spot for every single color of terracotta. I feel like I'll also end up storing the corresponding kind of like wool colors and stuff like that, as well as having a bunch of chests for every single type of terracotta is maybe a little bit overkill, but man oh man does it look satisfying. But with that, we now have every single spot labeled, which is super sweet. All we gotta do now is craft all of the chests. Let's see how much wood we have left. Okay, we have a decent amount actually. This thing was completely full before, but we had to use quite a bit of it to build the actual storage room. Anyways, let's place down our crafting table and turn all of these into planks. I have never had so many planks in my inventory, but let's go ahead and turn all of these into chests. That only gave us a little under 4 stacks of chests, and if my math is correct, we're gonna need 10 stacks, so let's grab more logs and craft some more. So once again, let's start by turning all of these into planks, and then we'll do our chests again. There goes all of our wood, and we still do have a few more logs on us, so let's just make those into planks, and we'll do even more chests. Okay, we're pretty much at 8 stacks of chests, so we're pretty close, and we do have a bit more logs, so hopefully we'll have enough wood. Okay, these are the last of our planks, please have enough, and geez. Okay, just over 10 stacks, let's go. Well, there goes every single log that we gathered earlier, but it's for the greater good. Now that we have all the chests that we need, it's time for the fun part. We can place all of these in. Well, maybe fun is a bit of a stretch. This might be a little bit tedious. The first side is completely filled in and looking pretty dang sweet if I do say so myself, so let's keep going on and get the other side filled in. Okay, sweet. The entire first level is all filled in with chests, so let's head down to the lower level as well and get this filled in too. Just like that, every single section is filled in with chests, and this place looks absolutely crazy now. And just to be safe, let's make sure that we can open these top chests. Okay, that one's good. Let's check that one. All of these ones should be, totally fine. Let's see. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, but now that we have every single area filled in with chests now, all that's really left to do is grab some of the items from upstairs and bring them down and, get everything organized. So for example, this chest right here is just overflowing with diorite, so let's grab all of this. Then we can just press our button, head back down in our storage room. We just need to locate our diorite block, and then we can open this chest and put all of our diorite in there. Can maybe even be nice to myself and divide up the walls from the full blocks. I mean, we have so many chests, might as well. I'm kind of scared for this part, as getting all of the items transferred over and organized is gonna take so much time. Guess that means there's no time to waste, so let's just grab all of these items and crack on. I guess one of the nice things is that I should be able to clear out some of these shulker boxes. You know, I will definitely take some empty shulker boxes back if I can. Getting everything organized and put away took so much longer than I thought it would, but it's gonna save us so much time in the future, as just having all of our stuff nicely organized is gonna be so helpful. Now that everything's nicely organized and put away, you already know we gotta take a look at this thing with the shaders on. And holy cow, does this look sick. As you can see though, everything's all put away. We have like our gravel here, our clay, our sand. I think you get the idea. I'm so glad we got this project done though. Having this thing right under our house is gonna save us so much time. As always, thank you so much for watching, and an extra special thank you to all of my Patreons and YouTube members. Happy building, and I'll see all of you in the next video.